Oh, what was the budget for this? 5? Are all Lego games good or something? People rave about the games and the movies, and I never played or seen any of them. Generic intro into that goes me here, back with another Caddicarus video, and today we're doing the Pitiful World of Pixar games, which is a 59-minute long video. I'm not very sure what these Pixar games are going to be. I think I see Ratatouille, Up, Toy Story, The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, and I want to say Cars. I'm not very familiar with what's a Pixar movie, what's a Disney movie, what's a DreamWorks video. I don't really know. We did the DreamWorks video a couple weeks ago. Last week's video, though, was a Crash Bandicoot video, which was, I think, the world of bad Crash Bandicoot games. You can check out my reaction to that. I'll leave it right up there. Also, link down below in the description. Also, in a place on my channel with all my other Caddicarus videos, going in chronological order. If you want to binge watch through all of them, I have been enjoying these videos so much, and you all seem to be enjoying them as well. Last week's video actually literally just went live a couple hours ago. I'm having to record videos ahead of time, but also Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. This video should be going live on Christmas. I know a lot of people probably be seeing it on Saturday. I want to say Saturday and Sunday. So I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Happy holidays. Everybody safe travels and has a wonderful time. But I do read all your comments. Leave them down below. Let me know what you got for Christmas. If you got anything for Christmas, shout out to the patrons. They get all the videos a day early, and I could not do this if it was not for them. So shout out to the patrons. Also, we are less than 300 subscribers away from 100,000 subscribers. So if you're not already subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it. These Caddicarus videos have been coming out every single Wednesday at the same time. So hope you're subscribed to some of those future ones. Let's go ahead and jump into the Pitiful World of Pixar games. And also let me know what the next Caddicarus video should be, because I go off of the comment section. Last week's video was Crash Bandicoot. Bad games. Bricks.
Son?
What?
Son. Why is there sun? What's going on?
Dude, it's so funny. Oh.
What? But this isn't right. The bricks outside can't be gone. I mean, we just got married.
They did just get married. Was that? Oh,
And
I thought.
they took my wallet!
You know what?
That's about right.
I don't believe you're
She
gone.
took the kittens,
I reckon
so.
you're still out there. And I think once everybody's let their guard down,
We weren't married,
you'll
though.
pounce from your hiding place and crash down and flatten everybody. Oh damn, I forgot I'm one step ahead of you, Bricks. Yeah, you're not gonna catch me out, no way. Knockdown may be lifted, but I don't buy
Dude,
for a
it
second.
was so clever. Because I forget that they couldn't say.
Let's take a look at some Pixar.
Pixar is a digital animated
They couldn't
movie
say the
studio
word.
that was directed by Pete Docter and John Misconduct, and since the mid-80s
I was
has
gonna
not
say, is
only
his last name
produced
actually
groundbreaking work that would
Docter?
influence computer graphics and film for the rest of time, but has also crafted many a brilliant film at the same time.
Oh, they did
Some of my
Monsters,
favorites
Inc.
being Toy Story 2, The Incredibles, Brave, Coco, and Ratatouille.
I haven't seen
Pixar
Coco
is
or
short for
Brave.
Pictures. But that doesn't mean that
Okay.
pictures are the only thing that they've attached their name to. Even as early as their first animated feature, Toy Story, Pixar all of a sudden felt like a farmer the size of a house and were ready to sear their brand onto every submissive cow that wanted to be milked. And one of those cows
What?
was video games.
Yes, just like with DreamWorks Animation
the DreamWorks
Studios,
ones.
the very second
I actually
that
had 2 of
Pixar
those
saw
games.
any ounce of success,
They had a video
which just
game.
so happened to be with their first ever movie, the video game tie-ins
Wait,
were
Toy Story
sure
was
to
their
follow,
first?
ready to milk all of the kids. Actually, no, that
Whoa,
sounds
whoa,
pretty bad.
whoa,
Don't
whoa.
milk kids. And today
Don't
I'm going to
do
look at
that.
a load of them. A metric butt ton of them. I'm not even kidding. Look, I've got
How
like
many?
I've got like 23 of these.
Do
Look,
I
I'm
have any of these?
drowning in
I know I
Pixar
have the
games.
Cars game.
I don't know you what.
To be honest though, I have higher hopes for these games going into them than with DreamWorks, not only because Pixar have a higher batting average of good films, but also a higher batting average of good games, at
Little
least from what
Smithfish.
I've played anyway. In the distant past on this channel, I've taken a look at 3 Pixar games, and I thought they were all pretty great. A Bug's Life on PS1, despite what critics that probably don't wash say, I think is a great time. A stage-by-stage collectathon and enemy hunting game with decent visuals, decent controls, and incredible music. I mean, it's as good as one could
Incredible.
expect from a game about sticky insects that stand in place and turn into an electric toothbrush.
Wait,
Even
oh,
better,
I thought
at
that
the
was
end
an
of the game,
actual.
you get to chase down and stop Kevin
Ant's
Spacey
life.
from touching everyone inappropriately. How about Toy Story Racer, another great PS1 game and
Dude,
one of the most
so many
underrated
kart
car
games.
races of all time, if you ask me. With some of the smartest and
I
most
had the
unique
Hot
track
Wheels,
designs ever,
like,
mixing with
backyard
bouncy controls that
thing
feel
where you, like, made a
exactly
track.
like you're messing around with an RC car. And of course, there's my personal favorite,
As a kid?
Toy Story 2.
I never
which is
played a
basically
Toy
if
Story
Mario
game.
64 was thrown into the Toy Story universe with ingenious
Also never
open
played a
levels
Mario
to
game
explore,
outside
tight,
of-
responsive
Oh,
controls,
well, I guess I
badass
played Mario
powers,
Party
tricky
last
challenges,
month, 2 months
amazing
ago.
music, and a rapid-fire super laser.
For charity.
Also, Buzz looks like a bloody potato.
Oh no!
The other 19 games, though, I've never touched before. So let's touch them. And while we're talking
don't
about
remember
Toy
the
Story,
Cars
why don't we start off
game
with the
at
first
all.
ever Pixar game that was ever released, which is nowadays infamous for the weird as hell graphics, the uncanny environments, and really weird blocky gameplay. Yeah, I'm going there.
Minecraft? No.
There's Toy Story on the Game Boy.
Yes, remember this one?
No.
Toy Story 1? On the Game Boy? We can point
I have
and
seen
laugh at
Toy
the
Story,
SNES version all we want and mock the lack of
Silicon graphics computers.
But I thought it would be way funnier to play the most primitive video game from Pixar at the time that it was released.
Oh, I hate that.
This is more frightening than any horror game I've ever played. And you know what? I should have just stayed on the menu, because as soon as the game
hate
starts,
sharp
it gets
music.
worse. How do you put
That's why I
this
always play Pokemon
diabolical
muted.
waste onto a Game Boy? This is how you do it. If Donkey Kong was played by Tom Hanks and then got run over by a steamroller, you get Toy Story on the Game Boy. Oh my god,
But did it
this
sell?
is so rancid that there isn't even a word for it. The controls
It's giving me
really
Chibi
bloody
Robo
loose as
Ziplash
well, but
vibes.
Hey, what are we even doing here? Because I don't know. As it turns out, the goal of level 1 is to find a bucket hidden in the stage, open it, and then watch it start shitting. After that, you head off to look for a radio and knock it down to the floor. Oh. Hey. You okay there, Ham? This is one of the most mangled things I've ever seen. Why didn't they just do their own art style instead of taking the entire SNES game's graphics and trying to squeeze it all into a creamy brick? Just look at this aggressive amount of green. It's
Why
hurting
is
my
it
eyes.
green?
Do we need to call child services? Does Andy live in mold? These controls, I can't even begin to explain them. They're just completely... Ah!
It looks...
That's
Wait,
it?
that's it?
The
It just a
level's over?
screen
Woody, are
pops
you
up?
okay? Do I need to call an ambulance? Anyway, sorry, the controls. Yeah, I mean, I know you can't feel the controls watching this video, but I'm sure you can
It
get the
doesn't-
correct idea
it
by
doesn't
just
look
looking at
good.
this footage. This isn't Toy Story, it's Alien. Not just because of the green and black everywhere, but because we float around so much we must be in space.
No one can hear you scream.
Just you try and do anything in
Especially
this
over
game.
that
Just
music.
you try. Swinging by a grapple? Nope. Jumping upwards through platforms? Nope. Timing your jumps to pump a balloon at the right time to launch moving toys into a box? Nope. And can I
What?
just ask, what is it with this game and excrement? Rex, you look like
What?
a gnarled up turd.
I don't know
I'm
what
really
that
not a fan
is.
of your running animation.
Oh, that's a dinosaur.
In fact, all of the animations in this game are buggered. What's going on here? Why is Buzz swimming in midair, and why is he splayed and waiting suggestively for me on the bed? Is it because I'm Woody? These levels go
Yes,
on forever,
it's
man.
exactly
Look
that.
at this. How ridiculous is this? How big is Andy's room? Does he live in one giant corridor? What kind of kid is Andy anyway? Why does he have a million copies of the board game Drafts? And why is he
I don't know
obsessed
what
with
that
the
is.
single book called The Fish Man? Well, whatever kind of kid he is.
Sounds like
he's
an
the same kind
SCP.
of kid who thinks the alphabet goes why?
Oh, by the way, did any of you guys ever
Z.
see the posters for the SNES and Genesis versions of Toy Story? Well, if you thought the Game Boy version was horrifying enough, then I don't think you'll be able to cope with some of these posters from back in the day.
Play the game. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's like,
Well, that was horrible, wasn't
what,
it? So I suppose
Daikatana?
it's time for us to move on to the next game I'm going to be looking at. It's another Toy Story game, at least, so maybe it'll be a lot better.
no.
Well, we'll see.
Can it be
Get
worse?
ready, everybody, for Toy Story
2?
on the Zizzle.
What is a Zizzle?
Yeah, the Zizzle.
What?
What's a
You don't
Zizzle?
remember the Zizzle?
No.
It's a classic. No, it's not an overweight calculator. It's a video game system. And my god, is it a video
What's-
game
what's
system?
going on
First
Woody's
off,
face?
It's called a Zizzle. That's not a game console. That's what a sausage does in a frying pan. Secondly, who designed this plastic shell? And thirdly, where is the demon that they summoned after they designed it? Buzz looks
Yep.
like a burn
Oh,
victim, and Woody looks like he just survived Chernobyl. And this would be bad enough. But then you turn them around and look at them from the side.
It's even worse.
These ugly skin
like
grafts
Thomas the
attached
Tank
to this
Engine.
bulky chunk of plastic is not where the horror ends, because you turn the thing on and
Select mission,
It speaks.
oh boy, does it speak.
mission.
Is it all just Buzz Lightyear?
On this so-called Zizzle, you get a total of 5 missions to play, while holding the system with your left finger poking into Buzz's armpit. And as for Woody, we don't talk about Woody. And this is what the
Stop.
missions are. Mission 1, you move left and right to catch aliens. Mission
Bro,
2,
you're playing
you
video
press
game
one
with an
button to do a
Etch-a-Sketch.
jump every so often. Mission 3, you hold left and right while hitting 2 buttons to do high and low attacks against other toys flying towards you. Easily the most challenging and mechanically complex game on the Zizzle. Mission 4, you move left and right to cross a busy road
My
while avoiding
graphing
cars.
calculator in high
Mission
school
5, in the
played
saddest thing I've ever
better
seen,
games than this.
all you do is scroll through 4 things you can make Buzz do and press a button to make him do them. You can put his helmet on and take it off, fire his laser, open up his wings, and make him talk.
I am Buzz Lightyear.
This mission clearly only exists for those poor saps of kids that weren't lucky enough to get an actual Buzz Lightyear toy back in the day. This was their substitute.
Was there a
Don't worry,
shortage
kids,
of
you don't
them?
need any of this.
I don't know
You've
what
got
year
the
this thing
Zizzle.
came
It's
out.
basically the same thing.
It's a fake knife.
Oh! 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 Why did you do that?
Me.
Oh! Well, you know what? This was worse.
Okay, then hopefully I can feel a bit
Monsters,
better after I
Inc. for the
revisit a game
PlayStation
I
2.
replayed countless
Limited
times as a
edition.
kid. Monsters Inc. Scare Island on the PS2. This is, in fact, the same game
What?
as the PS1 Monsters Inc. game that I know a load of people played when they were younger. I think
No,
it was called
did not know it
Scream
existed.
Team. But to be honest, I never played that one, and I didn't even know it had a PS1 version until I got a demo disc for it long after I finished the PS2
Him and the
version.
demo
It's
disc.
the same game, essentially. It just looks better and runs smoother. But better
Oh.
graphics or not, God help me, it doesn't do much for Scare Island. Water News looks like a raisin, and Sully here has more teeth than face.
Monsters Incorporated!
Onto the training mode then, and who do I pick?
Dude,
well,
why does
based
it
entirely
look
on
like
the way
that?
that they walk, I'm not a fan of Sully's extending stretchy neck, so I guess I'm gonna have to pick Mike. I think I made the wrong choice.
That
I wonder what
was the
happens if you
wrong
pick
choice.
Sully.
Hey, I'm the monster!
Oh, you are?
Back
I
to
didn't
Mike.
notice.
This training mode sucks, no other word for it. I get that it's a tutorial to ease younger players into the game, but this goes on for way too long, since each room of the stage goes over every individual move you have. There's a room
Oh.
for jumping, and a separate room for double jumping. That's
Oh,
how
cool.
redundant this whole thing is. And in every single room, you get to listen to Roz talk at you, and after a while, she starts to sound like a massive sneeze.
Is he the actual voice
So we
actor?
get out of the training mode and into the actual stages, which are free
Why is it
roaming
in a
3D
mailbox?
environments with sub-areas you need to unlock and edges you can't cross. The game itself is kind of like a Mario 64 collectathon mixed with Ape Escape, but for babies. You run and jump around, attack enemies, and collect this stuff called ooze in order to fill up a meter. After you've filled it up enough, you then go on the hunt to catch these robot children. Thank the Lord we're not hunting real children. And if they're
Yeah,
the same color
that'd
as the
be
meter
a bad
pool that
thing.
you filled up to with the ooze, you can adequately scare them. Scare enough of them, and you clear the level. Well done. Unlike Ape Escape, though, where searching for these escaping
I don't know what
targets and
Ape Escape
catching them
is.
is fast-paced, reaction-heavy. There's usually platforming or puzzle-solving to get around, and it takes one swipe to grab them afterwards as a nice payoff. Monsters Inc. instead just places the kids everywhere in not very difficult locations,
and
and
you
then
just gotta-
forces you into a button-mashing scaring game every single time you find one of these
Oh, it's
things.
repetitive.
The higher
Cool.
color level they are, the
Who's
more
scared of
button mashing
Mike?
you have to do. This gets immensely tiring insanely quickly. There's nothing fun about this, and not rewarding even slightly for finding these things in the first place, because you don't just get to pat yourself on the back and move on like an Ape Escape.
You gotta do it
have
all
to
over
stop
again.
dead in your tracks and mug. To be fair though, it is funny once or twice to see some of the final scaring animations.
In fact, while we're here, was I the only person in the world that thought it was completely backwards in the movie that Sully was considered the scary one and Mike was considered the funny one?
This thing is freakish. Why aren't kids scared of it?
Mike's
Look
not
at him.
that
The worst that Sully
scary.
can do in this game is...
Sully has horns.
Okay, fair enough. He's pretty scary. The
He's
facial
also
animations aren't
massive.
the only things I'm not too sure about on the production
like a
value.
fuzzy
It's
alligator.
all over the place throughout the game. Check out these water physics. It looks like they're trying to escape the game. Sometimes the models look absolutely
they are.
fine, and sometimes they make me want to off myself. And they also
Oh.
reuse the same victory animations for the monsters when they grab the main medal collectibles of the game, which is fine.
You got all
but
platinum
these
relics this
animations are
time?
in sync with one specific line of dialogue, and the characters say different lines for different medals. So where this is perfectly fine,
Not bad for a guy with one eye!
this just looks dumb.
Who's the monster?
Oh,
Sorry, how does it go?
me.
The monster!
For a nice
Me.
bit of replayability, as you go through the game, you unlock more tools to use to access areas you couldn't get to before. And if you quit a level, thankfully, the amount
That's
of
just
ooze
jump
and other
pads?
collectibles you got on the level is stored, making the dashes towards the final collectibles and children to scare much easier. And check this out, you even get to race Randall as a makeshift boss battle, and these bits are really fun, I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, you're more of a challenge than I thought.
Yeah?
Oh.
Well, you're more toothed than I thought.
I'm getting restless
not
now.
like
I want
Sully.
to go outside. The weather's lovely out there. Imagine what I could do. I could run through the hills or fly a kite.
Now why would you want to do that?
Oh,
Why is he a
what
kite?
did I eat last night?
You've already got a kite, Caddy. I'm here.
You're not what I had in mind.
Fly me, Cads, fly me.
Why does it
Please
choose?
calm down.
I need wind.
Well, what do you want me to do? Blow on you?
Please, anything will do, anything. I just want to feel alive again.
Finding
Oh
Nemo.
no! The kite turned into Finding Nemo on the GameCube.
My first impressions with this
Yeah,
game
what-
are not
GameCube
all
is
that
an
bad,
interesting
actually.
choice for
this
this.
visual design is very appealing. I mean, this was
Well,
made by Traveler's Tales.
he's
who
gonna
have been
compare
known for
this
quality
to
when it comes to Pixar
Shark
games.
Tales.
And the first level of this game is going to school.
Oh no.
Gee whiz, Papa Bear!
We start the game off with a cutscene from the movie featuring a child physically assaulting his father.
Come on, is this
And then we get to
okay.
swim around like nothing ever
Graphics
happened.
look
It's
good.
just our little secret.
Watch me swim over to that coral.
Why don't you try to swim through all those rings of bubbles on the way?
That's a different voice actor, isn't it?
I remember my first day of school. And my dad asking me that.
We get to see the two main types of gameplay here. Side-scrolling linear segments with a few side paths to explore, and on-rails swimming segments with obstacles to avoid. We aren't given
Okay.
much time in these parts though before we're introduced to some more characters.
Classmates.
Hi, I'm Tad. I'm obnoxious.
Hey there,
Thanks,
Nemo.
that's a big
nice
word
to meet
for a
you. I'm
kid.
a twat.
This game takes you through the events of the movie in a style very similar to the underwater segments from Crash 3. In fact, Finding Nemo in this sense reminds me a lot of
Oh,
the
no.
Shark Tale
Oh,
game,
no.
except it doesn't make me want to kick my dog. Luckily, this is 10 times better in terms of controls and mechanics, and Finding Nemo doesn't try to do a million different gameplay styles at once, making it more focused, easier to understand, and way more enjoyable.
we got a
The
pebble.
presentation, though, is the best bit. There's all these neat attentions to detail, like being able to dive out of the surface of the water, which serves no purpose whatsoever, but you can just do it if you want to. And the character
cool.
animations in general are pretty great, especially when you're performing a certain move. Although I don't like it when Marlin tries to kiss me. I'm not a fan of that.
Oh, well.
These good
VR.
visuals, though, come at a cost. A high cost at that. Like £15. This is one of the worst performing games I think I've ever seen.
Oh,
and
with
I've
the
played
frame rate?
Shrek Extra Large.
Extra large.
I swear I can hear the GameCube practically catching fire trying to
Oh.
run this. If we aren't careful, the fish in here might cook over and we can have them with chips. Look at this shit. It's terrible. The music, though, damn, it's really good. In fact,
Yeah,
for a
frame rate
level
is
about
a struggle.
going to school, it's surprisingly epic.
For going to school? Dude, I wish going to school had that kind of soundtrack.
This almost makes me want to learn.
Nope.
Oh, you made me eat.
Don't ever say that to me again. Each level has
I
you doing
actually-
a few different
me
missions
and my
while
friends will
getting
actually
the end,
say
similar
that to
how
each
A
other.
Bug's Life on PS1
Pause.
handles it. And look at that, it was the same developers. Aren't I a dick?
Wait, what? Oh, no, I think he's
I
not
have
actually...
severe panic anxiety.
Some of these missions are collectathon related, some are based around finishing mini-games in a certain way, like winning a race or something, and whenever you complete them, they all end like this. I mean, in comparison
too
to other
close.
Disney Traveler's Tales games, this is way too simple. This is an easy kids game, but it isn't the worst thing ever. I just
Shark.
wish it ran better. Or should I say, swam better.
Oh, wow.
You live in.
I mean, it's on a GameCube.
In an amendment.
You live in
A
an
minute,
enema.
a minute.
Do we need to remove it? It controls good, it looks good, the soundtrack is incredible for missions that are so mundane, but I can't keep playing this. The performance is worse than the last time I was in bed. It makes most of what you do practically unplayable, so I think I'll end things up with a
Yikes.
glitch where I ended up winning a starfish by dying.
Huh? Oh, okay.
Hey, I did it.
You are now dreaming.
I'm not.
Nice, isn't it?
No.
Want to know why?
Why?
Because this dream is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
You know what
That's
I've
an
been doing a lot
interesting
during
way to do
lockdown?
that.
Sleeping. And while I'm sleeping, I have nightmares.
I
Nightmares about
was
this
not
man.
sleeping during
What's he
lockdown.
doing? He's hacking your mainframe. God damn. Well, how are we going to stop this? Well, with ExpressVPN.
And VPN stands for Violet, please, no!
No.
ExpressVPN is a service that
Incredibles.
encrypts and protects your online data to keep you completely
They-
safe.
they
whenever
made
you
like a
browse,
second
shop,
Incredibles
or
movie,
game
didn't they?
online.
Or
And
did
it's
they
one
do
that
a
I've been
remake or a
using
third
for as
one?
long
I don't
as
know, I
can
only saw the
remember.
first
Not
one.
only for creating a barrier between myself and malicious people trying to get access to my information, but for unlocking region-locked videos on YouTube, Netflix, and countless other sites. Did you know
The
that
Office.
I live in
Never seen it.
Venezuela? Well, I don't. But you can use ExpressVPN to pretend that you do. Your IP address
what?
is then safe, your passwords are safe, and your wallet is safe.
Just go to the description below to expressvpn.com/caddy and you can find out how to get
Caddy
3
with
months of this
two
incredible
Ds.
service for
Caddy
free.
like
yes,
a golf
for
caddy.
free. You can pretend that
I miss
you're
golfing.
in freezing cold
It's cold.
Canada for 3 months. Actually, speaking of freezing cold,
Kids, I found dinner.
No. That's a small free. Incredibles?
Here.
This here is The Incredibles on the Xbox and Game Boy
Just the
Advance.
regular
Two more
Xbox.
games from my childhood, both of which were published
2004.
by Vic, and games which I poured hours into. I was
Never played them.
obsessed with them. In fact, I was also obsessed with the movie. I was 10 years old when it came out, and as a huge
I
fan
wasn't
of
obsessed with the
Spider-Man,
movie.
I hadn't seen a relatable superhero story told like this before. It captivated me. Do you remember Buddy? Yeah, that was me, but with a
Oh.
movie. and not a man shaped like a pizza slice. And when it comes to Incredibles games, let's start with the GBA version. I never actually owned this one until recently, because back in the day I borrowed it from my cousin multiple times and finished it over and over again while my sister had this Monsters Inc. game on GBA that I barely ever played. Was that any good? Please let me know in the comments, and I won't read them. The Incredibles on GBA
I read all your
3D
comments.
beat 'em up with 2D graphics that are pretty damn stylish, all things considered. But if you want to consider all things, you'll quickly notice how shallow, empty, repetitive, and bland this game is at its rotten little...
I mean, The Incredibles was
You
a
have
big
special
deal,
moves,
wasn't
You
it?
can dash, you can jump attack, you have combos, but none of this means anything when your approach to every single situation is the same over and over again.
Fair.
Which is then topped off by the enemies being copied and pasted exactly the same over and over again. By the way, these guns, yeah, they're not fun to deal with. They can get stuff. Hang on, what is this old woman doing hanging out on the roof of a skyscraper?
While
what's
there's
that?
things
This guy's
going
gonna
on. Oh,
jump to
no,
his
no,
death?
do not.
If this face was coming at me, I'd want to jump too. Incredibles on the GBA is a
Saved,
distraction
I
at
think.
best and boring at worst. You can't even save your progress and can only use passwords.
Oh,
yes,
that's
in
old school.
2004, this is pretty pathetic.
Yeah.
Wait.
That-
How did they get away with that as a password?
It's fine.
And now we're on to the Xbox version, clearly and obviously the better game between the two.
Clearly.
And the one that I spent the most time on
And
as a
the
young
3D
You get to do all the
graphics.
things that superheroes do, like beat up bad guys, roll around in a force-field ball at 1,000,000 miles an hour to knock down guards and solve physics puzzles, turn invisible, try to get sticky bombs off of capes without actually trying to get the sticky bombs off of capes, race the school bus to school in the middle of broad daylight when you're supposed to be hidden under cover, save all of the civilians that
Yeah.
look like ducks, and get to the scene
Dude,
of
why
the
does he
crime
look
just
like
in time
that?
for your chin to save the day. Just like the GBA
Dude,
version,
his
this
chin
is
is built like a
beat 'em up
wasp.
game, but just way more varied, interesting, explorative, and there's more powers to use, more platforming, and I mean, it's on the Xbox, look at it. You also get to crush people under steel
The
girders in a kid's
original Xbox. I was gonna say
The game
Xbox
looks pretty
One, but
good for
I'm
an
watching
Xbox
this video on an
title,
Xbox
you
One.
know, except for Mr. Incredible's crouching animation. And
Dude, my
for
knee
some
hurts
reason,
looking
there
at
are
that.
quite a lot of graphical oddities and texture glitches in this game. The cars have metal nipples. Maybe it's because I'm playing this on the Xbox 360, but I don't know, man.
Oh.
Some of these things just feel like they're part of the game to me.
Let's take a look
backwards
and see
compatible, I
what's on
guess.
the other side.
Oh, don't worry, Elastigirl. I know what's on the other side. Your husband's deconstructed face! This is the greatest graphical
Hey guys,
bug
check this
I've
out.
ever seen, and it's absolutely terrifying. Not only does the wall dress
That's a
up as Mr.
Lightyear
Incredible,
react-
but
or
the floor does,
reference.
and even entire skyscrapers.
Oh, what is the
Look at
teeth
this.
and the
I know
eyes?
Mr. Incredible is big, but he's not that big. Sadly, though, for as much as I loved this game as a tot, especially the Violet and Dash ball rolling stage, it can be pretty tiring in places. The combat is nothing special at all, and there's way too many grouped enemy encounters that require standing around and waiting for more waves to appear before you can move on. And with instances like these battle tank mini-bosses, the amount of waiting you have to do just to get an attempt to hit them 1 time out of 3 is agonizing.
You gotta hit
It's
him
okay,
3
because
times?
with the cheat code SAS mode, you can jack up the speed of the game to 300% and make it utterly
That
unplayable. But at
is
least waiting
way
is no
better.
problem anymore. Speaking of speed, the best bit of the game will always be the fact that you can control a speeding child and get run over by cars. Yes,
It's
I
fine.
did it.
Max
Average
speed 268.
147 miles per hour. I ran for 13 miles and I burned
A lot.
187 calories.
There'd be a
I
lot
did
more than
all of
that.
this and burned off the same amount of calories as a Kinder Egg. Exercise.
I've never had a Kinder
Don't
Egg.
leave your seats just yet. You can run into that moving truck anytime you want. Because right now, we haven't even pierced the skin of the cream.
Did you know
The
that before
Rise
the
of the
Incredibles 2
Underminer?
movie released in 2018, there was another Incredibles 2 that was actually
2018?
treated like
Oh.
the official canonical sequel to the original movie called
Wait.
Rise of the Underminer?
Wait, The Incredibles 2 is actually
For
2018?
the Xbox. Look, I personally love the movie, but no matter how you felt about the sequel that we eventually got, I think Dog Sick would have been better than this game. But hey, at least we get to play as Frozone this time, which is great because he finally found his super suit! This is a 2-player linear 3D beat-em-up
Dude,
once
the
again, with the
memes
single-player mode allowing
that
you to
the
switch
Incredibles
characters
movies
whenever you
made.
want, and the first level of this game shows you absolutely everything you are going to be seeing and doing for the next 4 hours. Production-wise and gameplay-wise, it's all spread on you right here like an invasive swab test in the first
That is definitely
stage,
Reggie
and
still.
it never gets any better or changes even remotely as it goes on. You hit robots in brown and grey tunnels with basic attacks and occasional special attacks. You hit robots in brown and grey tunnels with basic attacks and occasional special attacks. And you hit robots in brown and
And
grey
you
tunnels
freeze
with
them.
basic attacks and occasional special attacks. Sorry to be redundant just to make a point, but
It's
this
the same
game
thing
doesn't seem
over
to
and
have
over
a
again.
point, so I'm making up any point that I can. Just look
Definitely
at
made
this.
for
This
kids.
is level 1 and the most impressive the visuals get. And even then, it still completely ignores the laws of sound.
I'm guessing that was also supposed to be the demo.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna apologize to Crash of the Titans. I'm sorry. I thought that you were the most mind-numbing and tedious button masher I've ever played. But this?
Taste the cake?
This is a stain in the pants of God!
Sure, the basics of the game are the same as the first Incredibles, running, jumping, and attacking, but in comparison, this is soul-destroying. Unlike the first game, you can't explore around these areas. There's no branching paths, you're outright punished for thinking outside of the box.
Oh, I
and the
would definitely
upgrades you
do
can buy
that.
with XP points just end up making the same 4 moves you already do hit a little bit harder. Speaking of, do you like
that,
robots?
though.
Do you like these robots? Well, I hope you do, because they
That's
are
all.
everywhere from
Okay.
the start all the way to the end.
Sounds like a
Shamelessly
Sonic game.
copied and pasted all over the place. And strategies to fighting them amount to hitting them very quickly or sitting there like a dope and waiting for them. Oh, and also, when you play on your own, the partner AI is a little bit... I got
Yes.
so bored of this game that I actually ended up using cheat codes to unlock every level just to see if things improve later on.
It doesn't.
And no, they don't. Believe
It's
it
the
or
same
not, I'm
thing.
not showing you the same level over and over again. Aside from like one ice level, every single stage is you fighting robots in a brown hole.
Yeah,
In a tunnel,
I'm gonna
underground.
put this game in my brown hole.
The Incredibles Rise of the Underminer. Why
Also,
the hell
who's
is this
the
game
enemy?
even called that? The Underminer never goes above the ground. He doesn't rise in
He's
this
a mole
game. It should have
person?
been called the Incredibles Compost. At least the first
Oh, wait,
game,
that wasn't at the
as flawed as
end
it
of
is,
the-
allows you to discover secrets,
first movie,
do more
wasn't it?
platforming, solve puzzles, control multiple characters with different playstyles, and lets you smash up enemies. This is just running and punching
Also, you have
over
guns,
and
which is
over
kinda
again.
crazy
And if
for
that
a-
wasn't enough, these
a
robot
Pixar
villains
game.
that talk to you are some of the worst I've ever seen.
Focus all these forces to reverse the poles and flip the whole planet.
Why is it angelic?
I was ordered to make 100 giant Gilgabots. The skies will
Just get Claptrap to do it.
And the sun will become a distant memory.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were talking. I was busy watching paint dry. By the way, why does your helmet have a hairy egg in it?
Who cares? Because now we have an Xbox
Cars,
360
I have
game based
this
on a
game.
movie where 2 female cars flash their headlights. Rated E for wet. Make your friends eat your
What?
dust. Oh boy, I've always wanted to do that.
I don't remember the gameplay of this, though.
On my 12th birthday, I actually got Cars the video game on the PSP.
Oh, I'm not a PSP.
And honestly,
I think I had the Xbox
I
360.
remember liking it.
Maybe it's
Problem
just
is,
the Xbox.
This is not a port of the
360.
Xbox 360 version, so I'm going to keep my
That's one I have.
expectations pretty low.
Still have.
Contains no sex. Aww. We start the game off with a dream sequence where we have to do a race, because this is called Cars, and that is what cars do. They can't play chess.
This is not bringing back
the
any
racing mechanics
memories.
here are... They aren't the worst I've ever played, but I don't think I can call them good either. I mean, check out this power slide.
It's not a power slide
Yes,
at all.
that was me holding the slide button and steering at the same time. It's absolutely useless.
None of this
Here
is
what
ringing a
power
bell.
sliding is good for. Do you want to turn? Or do you want to turn? We finish off the dream and get an amazing idea to start up our own local Grand Prix because we're bored.
He wants you to meet him out at Willie's Butte later?
Excuse me, I am not going near anyone's Willie's Butte. The real game
Why
starts
not?
off and Mac is staring right up the back end of Lightning McQueen.
Hey, Heidi-o, buddy-o.
Oh no. I think he likes my Willie's Butte.
Stop.
Okay, apparently there's a hub world in this game. I wasn't expecting that at all. What the hell am I supposed to be doing in here?
That.
Jesus, roadkill! What the hell, game? You said there was
No
no
violence.
Well, hey, at least I can crash into Mater. That's all I've ever wanted to do. This overworld system
I-
is downright bad. Check it. You need to drive around to find your next race, and if you want bonus points for some reason, you can collect these things here. But there are no guideposts anywhere.
Maybe
and
this
the
was one of
minimap
those
does a
deals that was
pathetic
kinda like,
job
oh,
at not only
you like
showing
the
what
Cars
kind of
movie.
missions are available, but if you've
Here
even
for
completed
Christmas.
them or not, leading me to do the exact same dream sequence race I already did by complete bloody accident all over again, and then I ended up mistakenly changing my look into a car dressed in 80s fitness spandex.
Hey,
Oh.
if it's your thing, Godspeed.
So I finally find
Ugh,
my next race.
I
and
mean,
said out loud to myself,
wow.
because
I grew up playing
these
racing
physics
games.
must have been sent to us by false gods. The controls here, despite driving on the dirt, are rigid and strange.
On the
There's
dirt.
no sense of slipping or sliding
Okay.
to your steering. It just feels like you're driving a bus all the time. And yeah, did I mention the physics? Because they're here.
I'm
And
sorry,
they're like
is that a
drunk auntie at
Carrera
Christmas
versus
party that no one
Miatas?
likes. This hub world, man, I can't describe how awful it is. Taking aside all the map issues and backwards roundabout mission selection system.
Also
it's
grew up
empty,
watching NASCAR.
dull, muted in the colors, and I get it, it's a desert, but if it was going to be this bland, I would have preferred a selection screen, especially since most of the races I did were mostly also set in the same goddamn desert. This adds
Well, I mean, the
nothing
movie
but
takes
waste
place
of
in the
time to the
desert.
game, and with so many awkward and cramped and tiny side bits to find items in, that's where you're really going to feel the
Oh.
controls struggle. Does it look like I'm having fun here? Look at the turning circle, I'm braking here too. Am I a race car or a satellite?
Oh my goodness, hello.
And then if you go into first person
Why is the
mode,
traffic
you're able to
Radiator
turn the game
Springs?
into Resident Evil 7. This is uncanny
played
and
it.
quite scary, especially when you crash.
Fine.
Cars the movie, the video game. You told me there was nothing provocative in here. What's
Uh-huh.
with this bare chest? You know what? The only single time I think the controls didn't suck was in this tractor tipping minigame where Major is controlled entirely with the analog stick.
Oh,
It
I had
makes
a
you wonder,
board
how
game
does
for this, I
rusty
think.
tub of crap move this responsibly, and yet the car whose job it is to drive around in circles can barely turn left? Oh god, what's this? A power
literally
slide
turns left.
tutorial mission. Thank
Oh,
the Lord. Am I
yay.
doing something wrong here? Please teach me.
Nope.
Nope, the game is just a stupid floppy, so I hope you don't
It's almost
mind.
like
but I'm
Payday
gonna
2
leave
driving
right now
mechanics.
before I go mad and kill someone.
Okay.
Yeah, did you know that Up had a video game tie-in?
Never saw
I
the movie.
didn't. And they made a version of it for the nut you can play with outside. And the game was made by Arse Bozo Studio. Okay, so it's asking me for a name for my save file, but there's only so much I can put here because there's a 3-letter limit.
Why?
So, I don't know, my name is... Yum. We start the
Sure.
game off with some FMV sequences that don't look too
That's
bad.
actually
I
gonna be
reckon
my
this could
introduction
trick kids
to
into
the
thinking
Up
this was from
movie.
the movie. But then we see Russell walking into the room like an upright vacuum cleaner, and I'm immediately concerned. And as far as Carl goes, phew, he looks pretty bad. He definitely doesn't look like he does in the movie. He's a proper gilf there. But
What?
then again, I don't think I'd want to do that anyway, so... He's a good. Okay, somebody
looks very-
explain this to me. How does
he
this
looks pretty
guy,
similar.
an ancient breathing pensioner, jump around like he's on a trampoline, climb up the sides of cliffs, and Indiana Jones his way across vines, yet he walks around like a crooked spider hungry for a dead bird? So yeah, ever wanted
he
to
can
play
jump.
a game where you're an old man? Then Up on the PSP is the game for you. And to be fair, it is pretty accurate if you wanted a cynical old fart simulator. You can play little competitive games with your kid and not let them win. Oh, what's that? You want to collect all the bugs? Well, I can smash them faster! And that's not all. You can ignore them as they cry for your help,
Nah,
run
leave 'em.
away from them as fast as possible so they
Good.
can't keep up, and even
Nice.
push them into a load of spiky, jagged rocks. When you
What?
aren't doing
It
that,
threw a
you're
wall.
playing the most basic partner-based puzzle platformer of all
Oh,
time.
so you can
that
take
barely
control of them one by
requires
one?
Any thought.
I like.
Carl? Are you okay there, Carl?
Sounds
As for
fun.
the mechanics and controls, well, they don't even work half of the time. Like here, I get captured by this trap, get told to spam X in order to escape, but it never ever works, and I end up
Why does
losing
it
health
matter?
and resetting the puzzle every single time.
What?
What am I doing wrong here? Aside from that, though,
Huh?
Up is painfully easy to the point of sleep-inducing. I know this is only stage 1, but this
Also,
is a
it doesn't look
flat-out
like they're very
depressing
upright
looking
now.
game. And when you start solving the... Hang on a second, Russell! How did you do that? We've got old men doing trapeze gymnastics and a small child who can throw adults over their shoulders. Am I playing Up or
Oh.
the Avengers?
I'll get your
Yes.
hopes up, kid. That rotten wood is never going to be a canoe.
Why does it doesn't need to be a canoe?
Use it as a canoe right now.
Oh, they are using it as a canoe.
My God, when did this game turn into a government warning about
Perfect
steroid
rotation.
abuse? How is Carl
Perfect
doing
rotation.
This is ridiculous. I can practically hear his spine.
Some of you will get that
Tap
reference.
X over and over
If you
again
did, I
to
like
move
you.
forward and try to fit through tiny gaps with water physics stopping you and crocodiles in the way.
Why are there crocodiles?
I'm done.
Where
This
are
game
they?
is way too dull for me.
I thought
so
they're
I'm
supposed to be
stopping.
going up.
Sorry, Up. You made me feel down.
Bad joke!
Ah, shut up. It was a better joke than naming your movie
Ratatouille.
after a pun.
Which I watched on the
Ratatouille.
Disney cruise. When I
We
was
start
like
the game off
9.
and we have the worst loading screen I've ever seen. It's nothing but a static chef's hat that doesn't do anything.
doesn't
Come on
move?
now.
Loading.
It moved.
Need to
It didn't.
wash up before I handle the food. So I begin the game running around on all fours with my hands, jumping about, getting a feel for my surroundings, and then... oh dear. You can't touch them.
The what?
Oh my God, what's this?
Is it milk?
Is this a sniffing button? It is! It's
That's
a sniffing
cool.
button! Who put this in the game? Who asked for a sniffing button?
Maybe it's useful. Maybe it tells you where to go. That's a squirrel.
Okay, so far this game feels pretty aimless. I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh wait, I get a reward for jumping on this handle? Awesome!
Oh, now you just land on it. Watch out for
What
spills
a
and
great
puddles. What?
reward. Death!
I don't know. Is this the way I'm supposed to go? Ah, look at that.
King
I got an
of the
achievement
stump.
for jumping on a stump. You're one of those games, aren't you? So
Yep.
now it's time for me to tailspin these cans away. Okie dokie.
Bonus pack? Oh,
The sound design isn't
That's
the only
sharp.
problem I have with the presentation, though. What is going on with the floor here? It looks like the floor textures load as Remy runs towards them. Is this
Oh,
texture
yeah.
pop-in that follows your feet? I've got to carry on, though, so let's just do that.
Or maybe
Being
it's a
shown
camera.
How to carry and place items now. That's pretty neat. The peppers explode. Where
That's
the
fine.
hell am I? What kind of illegal weapon smuggling is this woman up to? Why do her slippers look like Christmas ham? And why does Remy look like Oliver Twist?
Please, sir, I want some more.
Oliver Twist.
What do you think that jumping on jets of water sounds like?
Not that, not that, not that. Not that at all. Nope. It's gonna be very loud.
No, you're wrong. It sounds like this. Not to mention,
That's
this
a
is not
spring.
a very polished platformer we have. I got stuck on grates all the time while climbing them, and oh my god, what is going on here?
Oh,
I'm
what's
not a
happening
rat
to his
anymore.
body?
I'm a hybrid between a slug and a sausage. I think I'm gonna be sick. Okay, you know what? I'm convinced now. This old bag has some kind of gang operation running. A rat this size heading towards a window that fast would break it, which must mean this is bulletproof glass.
Yes,
Why
and
does
she's
she
a heavy
need it?
sleeper.
Christ almighty, that's why! She's a murderer! She sells exploding peppers on the black market and buries snitches in her garden! This farm kingpin needs to be locked up! How am I so close to this woman's legs that I'm practically looking up her skirt, yet I'm not dying? And pray tell, why do I activate a mousetrap right here and brush it off like, I'm okay? But then the second a tiny speck of loose gravel gets in my way, I trip over and fall flat on my face.
Oh, that's reminded me. After I'm done with playing this game, I've got a great place we can go and get lunch. Nah, don't worry, you'll love it. Yeah, I've booked a table at Cafe Rat.
After this tutorial segment, we then end up on the main game as we search around the city streets of Paris and collect a certain amount of items by jumping around in order to go back to earlier areas and unlock mini-games to complete, and therefore progress through the game. You know what other game works like this? Yes, Shrek's Treasure Hunt on PS1, but now, instead of being a stinky ogre, you're a stinky rat. The mini-games you have to work with are things like running around a spinning cylinder in the sky trying not to plummet to the earth, or running away on a turntable away from mechanical clumps of knives slicing vegetables at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So yeah, nothing too traumatizing for kids. But then again,
so definitely run
Remy
towards the inside of it.
He's a bit of a psychopath.
There's my restaurant.
That there was the voice of the ghost of Chef Gusteau, your guide through the city streets.
A ghost.
And this game will
a
make
ghost
you
is
remember that,
guiding
because
a
some
rat
genius in the dev
in
team
Paris.
decided that he should repeat every single line of tutorial dialogue for every area and item you walk by, each and every time you load in and out of a minigame.
The cops can tell you where to find a mission marker.
Something more annoying to me than that, though, is the fact that the game itself, when you're just running and jumping around the area, isn't too awful, but it's completely mauled by tiny flaws that all group together into a nest of regret. It's little things like being able to climb up pipes being a mechanic, but not every single
Oh,
one.
continuity.
And things like balancing on tiny platforms with the action button giving you no indication it even worked until you actually land on it. It's not like in something like Sly Cooper where there's
something that I would
or
complain
grapple
about, and then
animation after
people
you
would
press the button,
say,
letting you know that
you
everything
shouldn't
is about to
complain about
connect.
this. You should know
only
this.
if your button press worked in Ratatouille if you land on the thing or fall straight through it. There's no clear timing and the actions are incredibly unresponsive. You just gotta mash the action button and hope that you land on the thing. And that's not fun. It's funny.
Collect enough of these items and you'll be able to open a tall mission.
Oh, cool. Thanks for letting me know.
Collect enough of these items and you'll be able to open a tall mission.
Yeah, don't worry. I heard you the first time.
He's gonna say it again.
These items and you'll be able
Are you gonna say
every
that
time.
every time I pick up a couple of these things?
Yes.
Collect enough of these items.
There's 100 of them! Who programmed this?
It's easy.
Necessary?
No, it's not. Ah, well, at least we can all agree that
Chocolate.
that is a good smelling plate.
And so, I learnt my lesson about buying bad Pixar games and decided to pick up Cars 2 on the Xbox 360.
What? Cars 2? Why?
Wheel good fun.
Get out.
Where's my gun? The intro cutscene for Cars 2 shows us a rip-roaring chase sequence that's a funny, fun
Right there.
time for the whole family, and it ends with a cute
5
little
semi
crash
28.
where a group of cars pile on top of each other and explode. Cars 2 begins with literal car genocide. They have thoughts
Is it
and
genocide?
feelings, they have
Oh,
souls,
I guess there's
and they
8
are
of them.
dead now. Their eyes are part of the tunnel.
Cars is pretty messed up, isn't it? I mean, how much further do you think they'll go?
Oh, hey kids, I'm Lightning McQueen and I'm on
Diapers.
your Willie.
I was gonna pick Luigi for my playthrough here, seeing as for some reason he's faster than most of the other literal professional
Ooh.
racing cars and yet looks
A
like an old
C6.
shoe. In the end though, I went with Lightning because I
C6
think he'll kill
Corvette.
me if I don't. Once the game itself begins though, I'll be damned, it's actually
Also,
alright.
Lightning
In fact,
McQueen
dare
is-
I say,
is just
this
Mario,
is a
'cause he's
good
also
racing game
red.
for kids and even for adults. No joke, I was totally ready to go into this and give it the mouth of
How are
Owen
you
Wilson.
losing to Luigi?
Wow.
But I just can't bring myself to. This is a good game. It's not even vaguely the same as Cars 1 in terms of racing mechanics.
They actually
This
made a
feels
racing
way
game
more
this time.
fleshed out and looks much more lively and vibrant with more tracks to race.
Look at
around
that
that all look
turning.
Tons better than before. You've not only got a drifting system that's worth a damn, but also a load of new moves to use during the races that add a lot of risk and reward to what you're doing, and therefore makes every race interesting even when you're in front. You see,
Wow,
you have this
cleared
new
that.
boost system down here that fills up whenever you take a risk and do some tricky stuff with the right stick.
A turbo.
You can flick up to drive up on 2 wheels and make your steering
somebody
very
checked.
limited.
NASCAR
Flick back
stock
to
cars
drive
do
in
not have
reverse and
turbos.
swap the left and right controls around. And
I don't think
tap
they've ever
A
had
to jump
turbos,
up and
actually.
over different obstacles and even jump off of ramps to reach shortcuts. Much like in Sonic All-Stars Racing, you can even do stunts in mid-air by flicking the right stick. If you can keep a good streak of these going without using one of the 3 mini boosts you can save up, once you get your 4th mini boost, you can then activate a massive boost, which lasts for ages, goes really quickly, and knocks out any other racer around you.
It's like a star in Mario
boost
Kart.
fuel by doing certain stunts through certain highlighted routes, and you can interrupt other racers doing their own stunts by smashing the right stick left and right while driving on the floor. But wait, that's not all, you strap! Because you also
What'd
get
you call
races
me?
that allow you to use items and power-ups, missiles, oil
Lightning
slicks,
McQueen needs
bloody
missiles and machine guns.
What happened here? Cars 2,
America.
of all things, arguably one of the worst 3D animated movies ever made.
Wait, really?
Ended up with a good game. I'm
Cars
sorry,
2 is-
News of the World.
I've seen
You
Cars
earned
2.
that pun. That pun is correct. Recycling? No! This really surprised me, so well done, Cars 2. Which is something I never thought I'd ever say.
Do people not like Cars 2?
High-level weapon in play.
Okay, great. So what do we have next?
Cars
Another
3.
Cars game.
Brother.
It takes more than speed to become the ultimate racer.
Does it?
It also takes crack. So this game is the most modern that we have today. It's on
I
the
did not see
PS4
Cars
and
3.
starts with a TV show called Chicks Picks with Chick Hicks Dicks, where we get called out live on air to challenge another race car. And so, because we're live, we've got to accept it, otherwise we'll look like a puss. So naturally, in order for us to win against this guy, I'm gonna pick Guido. And I kid you not, Cars 3 is the same game as Cars 2, but just better. How is
It's
Cars
better than
of all
Cars
the
2?
Pixar franchises doing this? It's almost like these
Because it's a
bad
racing
movies
game?
about multiple cars were made as an excuse only to make merchandise.
And they made a lot of it.
Agrees. In Cars 3, you've got
I
the
didn't have
same
that much
power-ups, same
Cars
good
merchandise.
controls, same stunts, same weapons, and same turbo system, but now with loads more tracks that are way more visually varied, so many more types of race.
How many
and a much
people have I
faster
met
pace
that
allows you
voice
to pick
acted
the
in
next event you
Cars?
want to do in a drop-down menu after each race, instead of loading back to a main menu
A couple
after
of them.
every single one. Being on the PS4, it also looks pretty damn gorgeous, to be honest. It runs smoother than the other games, and I mean, you can even customize the colors and accessories for the car.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
I'm absolutely
That's some
gobsmacked.
Need
The
for
music
Speed
is
level
mostly full of
stuff for
background noise, to be fair, but other than
was it
that,
Need for
this is
yeah,
a
Need for
bona
Speed
fide
had
keeper.
customizing
Even
stuff.
the track design is great, since there's like a million different ways to go, routes to take, shortcuts to discover, and because of that, it makes the computer players an actual challenge, even on normal
Because they take the
difficulty.
shortcuts.
I nearly lost plenty of races because of the added challenge here. I'm amazed, I've got to be honest.
But like all good things, unfortunately, they must eventually
They did not make
come
the
to an
Cars
end.
4
So let's just move away from cars for one goddamn second
and move into
Instead, take a look
planes.
at Wall-E on the Xbox 360.
Say Wall-E?
I'm just kidding, it's cars again.
Oh look,
Okay.
it's more cars, they drive along and
It's
go...
just like the first
now
one.
it's all about Mater, so it sounds more like... Who asked for this?
Larry the
What
Cable
kid
Guy.
in the late 2000s was this desperate for a video game all about everyone's favorite character from the best Pixar movie
Was
of all
Larry the
time?
Cable Guy Mater really
I'll
the
tell you
favorite?
who. A big old trollop. The first thing you see in this game is Mater himself with his face right up to the camera and his tongue sticking out. Remind me why anybody asked for this game?
Oh, don't worry.
They didn't. Oh,
You want to know
well.
about this game? I'll tell you. It's Cars 1 again. Yes, I'm
Yep,
not putting
it's
your
just like
jammies.
Cars
This is
1.
the same bloody game as Cars 1, all the way down to
They
the
tried it
bloody
again.
finger. Same hub world, same objective markers, same races,
But it
same
just says
collectibles,
Mater.
except now we have missing sound effects for some reason. Disney, where dreams come true. The only things I can give Mater National some credit for are that firstly,
Oh, you don't do it as
don't really
Mater.
play as Mater, so
Oh,
why'd you
okay.
have to scare me like that? And secondly, the controls and physics are a little bit better than the first game. You
Oh,
actually slip
nice.
and slide around the dirt like a rally car this time, and the power slide actually makes you drift a little bit. There's a pretty useful tight turning button, there's more mini games, there's a recharging boost system, and the
that?
map actually shows you what
Dancing?
events are around you and which ones you've already completed. However, this is still pretty mindless stuff. You race on identical tracks over and over again with barely any different stipulations.
same
I'm
area.
sorry, but I absolutely fail to believe that this battered up old hunk of beef
Hey, it's a
overtook
sleeper build.
racing car at the starting
It's a
line. Next to me
sleeper
telling me that
build.
these cars have organs.
Oh. Oh no.
They do. And if there's anyone out there who knows how to do the best single lap around everyone in town, it's Trollop. I'm a little bit concerned at all the adverts in this game though. Shifty drug? What the hell do you think they sell there? Do you think they would help me leak less? Oh, hey there, car friend. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just about done here. I'm gonna move on to the next game.
He's a monster truck now?
I'm a monster truck. This is horrifying. What
man
this is
like the
put
first,
this in the game?
Dream job I wanted as a kid was to be a monster truck driver.
Not because there's no more games of cars, there's plenty of them, but I'm just sick of looking at all of them at this point. So why don't we move on to another
cars.
slab of metal that's actually cute. WALL-E.
Oh, now it is WALL-E.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be WALL-E. The holographic sleeve on this thing is completely borged.
Just look at
this. I think I've seen clips of WALL-E.
Exists everywhere.
It's one of those deals where we kind of like watched
anyway,
it
we start the game off
in
with a lovely little
school,
cutscene, and then I got an achievement already for watching a cutscene. I haven't done anything yet.
Hey, free gamer
score.
score.
One of the most pitiful participation achievements of all time, and I got one for pressing the left trigger in B-movie. Oh no, watch out, Rex. What are you doing?
Why
here?
is
You're
Rex
on
from
the
Toy
wrong
Story?
game.
Is that a reference?
So far, this is looking like a pretty substandard platformer, huzzah. But at least I can say that the controls are stupidly fun here. Not only can you roll up into a cube every time you jump and then hold the jump button to stay in cube form, which is a brilliant way to get around, especially downhill.
That's cool.
It feels very, very fun to pull off. But you can also carry things and throw them with very snappy controls, and you get to carry 3 things.
Kind of reminds me of like Portal almost in a way.
Jesus Christ, Wall! Did you destroy the Earth? Was this your fault?
No, I don't think that's
at least from
what happened.
Was a linear puzzle and physics platforming game.
This is like a Mario Party minigame.
It's pretty damn fun for a kid's game. Not only because the puzzles are pretty fun, but because WALL-E is an adorable little nugget to control around. I have to mention this roll again. I can't describe how zippy and smooth this is to pull off. But that's not all we have. The platforming isn't too bad either, and there's a nice balance between exploration to find batteries and puzzle solving.
And somehow they make the world actually look good rather than just the
place to make
color
things
scheme.
Happen at the correct time. Only problem is, yeah, the camera is not very good at all. Oh, stop looking at me like that. Where's Wally? It's your game that we're playing. Oh God, I've angered him. No, I'm sorry,
don't look into his eyes.
Don't look at me like that. Don't shake. Don't give me another chance.
Disassemble! Is that what happened in WALL-E?
Here, though. It captures that sheer desolation and sprawling urban jungle atmosphere perfectly, even to the point of the dystopian nightmare consumerist pristine spaceship aesthetic being nailed later on. And if you like the movie, the amount of Easter eggs and details are off the chain. I loved seeing the broken road signs named after the evil corporation By and Large, and when the autosave came up and told me that it was sponsored by By and Large, I giggled a bit. You even get to play as Eve in her own unique section sometimes.
That's a lot of
on-rails tunnel flying while you blow things up with lasers, and open-world flying scavenger hunts. And much like with Willy, these bits control great as well. Just look at how responsive the controls are, even on a slippy surface. Wherever you point the stick, you turn. No delay, no slow turning, the weight feels right. I can do donuts, and it's these controls alone that make the whole game pretty damn good to play. My favorite bit though was here on the loading screen, where it was moving along quite nicely, and then froze for a second. So then when it came back to life, it had to quickly catch up with itself.
So it went really fast? Bricks?
Good day, sir. I'm Michael Factory, and I'm here to sell you a door. I have a door. You knocked on it. Oh, yeah.
No, a different door.
Have a DS game instead.
No, dog.
Oh! Ratatouille!
Yes, everyone.
Food Frenzy, another one.
Based on the movie, plus the dump truckload of porn.
Did they only make one Ratatouille game?
Sweet little rodent. He also felt like he needed an exclusive side game for the Nintendo DS. Oh no! Oh no! Is the whole game gonna look like this?
Please tell me it's not.
Yes, it is. This is just horrendous. This looks like shovelware, not a Disney Pixar branded game. This is worse than
what was the budget for this? 5?
Coloring book, and all of the characters' noses look like sacks. In fact, I was so distracted by the ugliness of this thing that I actually have no idea what's going on. I clicked on a new game file, I get given a loading screen, and then there's a mini game. No backstory, no instructions. What am I doing? Am I sticking the same ingredients together to make a good soup?
Or is that
giving me the ingredients himself? Why can't he just wait for all the same ingredients to come up and then give them to me all at once? Ah, who cares? I figured it out at least. I think I'm doing pretty well.
Try again. What?
Okay, so after
playing on the wrong
entire
DS.
game to see if I missed something, it
I'm
turns out
just
that this
loyal to the original DS.
teeny-weeny, not obviously at all question marky was the only way to figure out the basics of each minigame you'll be doing here, so thanks for making it skippable. Couldn't you just put the instructions up here? It turns out that after you make a lump of dump, you just tap the screen to grab it with your fork, so that's good. On to the next minigame immediately. What? No bridge, no story, no
It's
main
just
game.
a cut-
This is a mini game set
a menu?
that is only a mini game set. We're now slicing things with the stylus and
lemon.
That's it. And then we're cooking things without moving any of the cookware. I'm sorry, what?
I
is
mean, the
this
stylus
game?
thing was
Why
pretty
is
cool,
it
the
a
cutting.
game? What's the point of anything that I'm doing here? For 2 screens and touchscreen capability, this is one of the most restrictive and shallow games I've ever played. There's nothing here. You just jump from minigame to minigame with no scoring system, no linking segments, no rewards. You just touch things.
It's satisfying to
while
play.
staring at this thing that looks like Thomas the Rat Engine. I mean, cooking games on DS go together like bread and butter.
I think I'm gonna go see
right?
Thomas
It's
the Tank Engine this
touchscreen. It
weekend,
couldn't possibly
actually.
be that difficult to
Or
make
this
an
past
engaging
weekend for you.
game, could it? Cooking Mama did this pretty well. Hell,
Never played
there's
it.
even more complexity, variety, and content on the Mario 64 DS mini-games, and they weren't even the standalone game. Peppa Pig on the DS offers you more than this.
What?
Peppa pricking Pig. So all I've got to say to you, game,
Why is
is
it-
rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat.
Why is the case so thick?
Hey, are you feeling brave?
Oh.
Well, that's good because I have a rifle.
So by playing this
I do
game,
too.
I
It's in the
must
other room.
ask, am I brave?
No.
Or stupid? Well, I can tell you one thing at least. I've seen this bloody lamp bouncing on this bloody letter so many times now that I want it to fall through the floor. Brave is a linear platforming beat-em-up game that... Ah! Merida! Whoa! What
Wait, what is her
happened to you?
name?
When
Is
did
it
that
Meredith
dead
or
cat get on your
Merida?
head? And despite how
Merida?
middle of the
Merida?
road it is, I think this is the best Pixar game I've played for this video so far. It's got elements of a twin-stick shooter for your fast-draw bow and arrow mixed in with basic combos and upgradable moves. And you can even unlock new moves to use like dodge rolling and different aerial attacks. Combine
Dark
that with a
Souls.
few
Got
puzzles
it.
here and there and different elements for your weapons to switch between to take advantage of enemy weaknesses and level obstacles. And I genuinely am not fooling around when I say this is a really damn good kids game and I think you should... Ooh, this game has Connect on it!
Oh no, not the Connect, no. Oh no, no.
Excuse me. What is going on with this bollocks?
Are you
Kinect,
supposed to-
help me, please, and answer me one question?
Yeah?
Why don't you work? Brave on the Xbox 360
Does it
allows
not?
you to head to an archery range with the Kinect, and precision aiming a bow and arrow with
Wait, do you-
dated
wait,
and terrible
you do-
body sensor motion controls
And then
goes
that?
just as well as you'd expect it to. If it doesn't
it
register
releases?
your aiming hand and where it's pointing, it doesn't register your drawing
Oh.
hand. And if you somehow manage to get that all working, letting go of the arrow is another thing entirely. What am I doing wrong here? Hit the thing, Brave!
Oh, so you
Hit the
literally
thing!
have
You
to-
get 3 games to pick from here.
Wow.
Who cares? Piss off and leave me alone to cry. It doesn't matter because they're all the damn same anyway. At least when I'm even able to aim at the damn menu commands and make them go. When something even
the
as simple
Kinect.
as menu navigation
Are we
doesn't
ever gonna have
work
something
and
like
screws
Kinect
you up,
work well?
You know the rest of the game isn't gonna work out for you. Brave as a kid's game itself is pretty damn good, but the Kinect add-on is the tambourine player of the school band. It's irritating, nobody wants it, nobody likes it, and even if you get it working, you end up wanting to kick it in the face.
Now, I've also heard through the grapevine that there's actually a Toy Story Connect game somewhere out there, but I don't have
can't
that,
find it?
so I
Where-
suppose I'll save it for another video.
Oh no.
Won't I? Connect.
Hopefully, maybe. He did a video for the
Anyway,
iToy,
while
didn't
we're
he?
on the subject of Toy Story, here is Buzz Lightyear Star Command on the PS1.
What? And that's
Merida
it.
looks like
Oh.
cup noodles. Before we get into the game, can I just say one thing? I never watched this show, but the movie
it's a
Buzz
show?
Lightyear Star Command, as
Wait,
far as
the
a
what?
cheap
There was a movie-
spin-off
what?
goes,
What?
I really
What?
like. It's pretty funny, actually.
Target the planet of widows and orphans!
You fiend!
There he is! I knew that would get him.
And appropriately, the video game
Oh.
tie-in is also making me laugh, but not in the right way. We pick our first mission and get
I'm
treated to a phone
learning
call, which I honestly
a lot
zoned out
here.
from because this dude just kept saying the same words over and over again.
Getaway spot. Getaway spot. Getaway spot. Getaway spot. Getaway spot.
I think
My
I'm going
first
to the
dog was
getaway
named
spot.
Spot.
Oh look, it's a scene from the show. That's pretty cool, at least.
Lightyear could handle this one in hypersleep.
What is hypersleep?
So Star Command on the PS1 is a corridor running and gunning game, and when I say that, I mean that's all you do. You run, jump, and gun, with floaty as heck controls and one of the worst camera systems I've ever seen that can't be controlled. But there are a few other things you
Oh,
can
you can't
do.
control
you
the
can collect hidden
camera?
little green men for
Hate
extra
that.
bonuses, you can pick up and collect credits to buy new upgrades and weapons throughout the level,
Okay,
and you can
so
strafe
there's that
left
at
and
least.
right. But what is
Bro,
this?
he is
It's good
dancing.
to know that I'm now playing the video game adaptation of Disney on Ice. You've also got to fight bosses and
Dude,
arrest them.
Buzz Lightyear's
But
doing
I
the
don't think
cha-cha
there's much point
slide.
arresting a dead body on fire. That's not all though, because
Fine.
what is this? Why, it's a time limit, because this is
No.
also a racing game too.
No,
Yes, in order
not
to
a
get to the
real world
boss of
countdown
each
timer.
level, you need to reach its
Getaway spot
before the time runs out, or beat them to the hideout to knock off a portion of their health with this thing that looks like a blue toilet brush. And this is great whenever you find a shortcut portal or jet board,
But if you don't,
terrible for looking around for collectibles and grabbing them. Not just the
So you can't
aliens, but
enjoy the
credits
game.
too, which you need to grab to buy the weapons you need to even damage the boss in the first place when you get there. And after all of this, the bosses usually amount to...
just that. It's just standing there and just outgunning. Yeah, okay, well, that's it. That's
Absolutely
it.
brilliant. These two styles of gameplay are at odds with each other
Mint.
constantly in Star Command. You need to find the hidden things and
That's-
collect enough credits to get extra medals in order to progress, but you also need to do that while not running out of time, meaning potentially rushing by basically everything, and you haven't really got a chance to let the game itself or its level design sink in, so if you have to retry it, you don't really remember where the best places to go are, where the best weapons are,
What?
where the collectibles are. It's just really messy. It's not awful, but I wouldn't exactly describe it as fun, and it's not that difficult.
Dude, real
or
world
just
countdown timers are like the
irritating. Not
worst
helped
things
at
in
all
video
by
games.
the total lack of camera control and no weapon lock-on.
Actually, no, they're not the
Even when
worst
the
thing.
levels do get
The
a
fixed
little bit more
cameras
interesting,
are
like on
pretty
Planet
bad.
Flambe, it doesn't give you breathing room to search around it or discover more interesting platforming or secrets, because otherwise you'll game over from being too far behind. Check out level 3 here, where I'm supposed to hit all of these bombs or else they'll detonate and destroy the whole level. But I'm given
okay.
a jet board really early on because of how fast this joker is. So I ended up missing one of the bombs in the
And
level
it all
as I was
went off
heading for
anyway?
a shortcut, which I thought I was supposed to do. But
And
nah,
it was the
because I
wrong
missed
thing.
that bomb, which was on the corner
You
of
lost.
the screen, game over. All because Star Command
I hate
can't make
games
up its
that do
mind on
that.
what kind of game it wants to be. And when I finally did perform everything correct on this level, I accidentally activated a power-up for Booster, who looks like a giant beat, to come down and
Booster?
smash everything, causing the bad guy to get ahead of me, which means that the level itself never pauses, which means if my countdown clock was running, I might have lost the level right there, completely out of my control. Why does Buzz have a gun anyway? He uses a laser in the movie, and he has one on his arm. Where is it here? And why does he sound like Joe Swanson?
Stop right there, creepers.
He does,
So why don't we
actually.
end this marathon off with a quick look at Toy Story 3 on the
Dude,
360, which,
How
by all
many
accounts,
games did they make?
is one of the best Pixar games ever made.
What?
Yes, Woody, I know. I couldn't believe it either. It opens up with this fantastic intro stage, playing like a mix
Why-
of Crash Bandicoot-styled animal riding,
Why are they in this
Uncharted-style
desert?
platforming, and Red Dead Redemption 2 train hijacking as we brutally murder a load of aliens by throwing them onto the metal tracks at 90 miles an hour. We also put a load of
What train
cows
goes
onto a
90 miles an
catapult
hour?
because they're
It's on a
old and
bullet
I can't
train.
milk them anymore. By the way, guys, I also thought Woody was supposed to be all floppy, so whenever he runs into a wooden door, why does it sound like... After this segment,
Oh.
we're thrown into the hub world of
Felt like
sorts.
a
And this
linebacker.
isn't any old hub world where you just pick levels. It's a massive level in and of itself, set in an old western town that you are the sheriff of, with a million pieces
I
of clothing
did
to
not sign up
collect
for
from your
that.
villagers, loads of treasures to find, tons of areas and side pockets to explore, gold coins to mine so you can buy more toys to help you collect more stuff hiding out of your range and unlock more mini games and different characters to control, and residents to help you so that you can unlock more stuff in order to customize the buildings and build more things to play within the town itself. You also get
What?
to toe punt all of the orphans. Seriously, what is it with kids games and being able to assault other kids?
Because
And look,
kids
you're even
enjoy
told
that?
specifically how to
Maybe?
drop
I don't know.
kick all of the children.
What is wrong with this game?
And they animated
Can
that.
I order more copies of it?
Oh, looky here, it's Stinky Winky Poo Pants Pete. This is for all the trouble
Yeet.
you gave me in Toy Story 2, you bastard. Okay, so Bullseye was an amazing thing to purchase this early on in the game. Wanna know why? He
Why?
runs and jumps really fast around the town. He can activate specific mini-games only he can do, which are very
Oh,
fun and give
okay.
you a good layout of the land around you. And more importantly, he helped me find a townsperson stuck in a well.
Oh, how nice.
Oh, okay, well, we beat the mission of finding the guy by just looking
Existing?
at him.
Oh,
Hey man, I was
well.
told to come down here to find you, not get you out. But I suppose you look
Oh,
happy enough
well.
down there on your own anyway.
You're fine.
This mode here
I'm in
properly makes you
danger.
feel like a kid again, playing with the biggest box of toys you can imagine. It's so much fun. And that's just the sandbox portion. The main story missions are
Whoa.
alright too, except for Demon Baby Halfface over here.
That's the
I
stuff
don't
of
think this is
nightmares.
anywhere near as creative or replayable as Toy Story 2 on the PS1, and your movement options are much more limited, but for a game following the events of a movie and taking a few liberties on the side, Toy Story 3
It looks
pleases
good,
both
too.
those looking to go through a varied and satisfying action platforming adventure, and those looking to just take it easy with nice music and throw prospectors into shop windows, so that you can give them a new haircut and make them leave looking like an angry
Wait,
jellyfish.
really?
As unimaginative as
You
what I'm
can
about to say is, I truly believe
That's
it.
cool.
This is like the ultimate toy box perfect game. I would have loved this game as a kid, but now I'm an
Except
adult
it's-
and completely
yeah,
miserable,
it
so
didn't
I'm going
come
to
out
stop.
back
At least I can
then.
do the one thing I've been desperate to do since the movie came out and smack Lotso in his stupid face.
And with that, this long Pixar journey has finally come to an
Except
end.
for the other
But what
game.
a ride it's been. Just like something you'd find at Disneyland.
Oh,
I really do
yeah.
mean that though, because where most of the
I've been to
DreamWorks
Disney
games
World
I played were
4,
down there.
5 times.
The Pixar games I played were all over
went
the place, up, down, and all
technically
around. Some
last
were
year.
great, some were terrible, all in the same
For a
breath.
day
And
trip.
because of this flip-flopping quality, I can completely understand why they don't focus on movie tie-in games anymore.
In fact, the most recent Pixar game I got was
Ding.
Lego Incredibles, and that was a really good one. Not just as a Lego game,
Dude,
but as a multiplayer
are all Lego
action
games good or
platforming game
something?
with puzzles to solve
People
and
rave
lots of
about
different things to do,
the games and
as
the
a
movies, and
Pixar
I've
fan
never
service
played or
game.
seen
so
any
I
of
think it's
them.
safe to conclude here and now that as a whole, I've been pleasantly surprised by a few places with Pixar games. It's been bad, my god.
I mean, it's
has
better
it
than
been
DreamWorks
bad.
games,
Most of the
right?
Stuff I wouldn't recommend you touching with a 30-foot-long pole, but I don't feel as exhausted here as I did with all of the DreamWorks games I looked at in another video, much like how I feel about each of the studio's movies themselves.
Well, see you later, everybody. I've got to head out now because I've got Merida's hair in a cup for dinner.
Oh,
and I
nice.
don't want to watch another DreamWorks or Pixar film ever again. So, what other companies can I rely on for
Oh no,
3D
what's the next
cartoons?
video gonna be?
Illumination.
Oh, Minions. Is there a Minion video game? There has
Jesus.
to be.
Wait, there's a Minions game?
I'm never being the pre-watch
Instagram and
allegations.
Twitter. And where's my dinner?
Special thanks to my top tier Patreon supporters in the description
Dude.
below. Matthew Hubble, The Classy One, Karj the Mage, Michael O'Donnell, Kenneth D, Ethan Spencer, Lizzie in a Tizzy, Abyss Wraith, Matthew Gunthorpe, Ingvar
Really?
Peterson, Kyle Berg, Calvin Cascella, Stephen LeBlanc, Iron Ninja, Daniel
just-
and Alex,
I
X-Shadow
just
Hunters
can't.
ZX, Red-Eyed Critic,
Come
Skullman,
on.
TARDIS Type 40, Dave Marshall, The Game Shed, Ramen Wolf 1485, Slowpunk, Mitchell Reed, 80 Thornton Smith, Amdazam Dal, Basil, Fart Rules, and Exopaz.
Stan,
Yeah.
I just saw the word death and saw the picture of Stan and my heart dropped, and then I was relieved when I read the rest of the tweet. Glad Stan is okay.
Oh, not approved. Okay, well. Oh, that CoffeeZilla video. This was the pitiful world of Pixar games, which sounds about right. Is the next one going to be Disney games? Disney PS1 games? Is there just... Well, Disney is Pixar, or did they, like, merge or something? I know they originally... Like, Pixar didn't start out as Disney, did it? And then they eventually merged, or Disney bought Pixar or something like that. So technically, a lot of these are Disney games, I believe. Or maybe they're just under the Pixar umbrella. Well, yes, they're Pixar under the Disney umbrella, which... I don't know if the next video is going to be Disney PS1 games. I'm not really sure. There's a just a 1 year gap between the uploads for that one. So I'm not really sure. I go based off the comment section. You see one that's like, the next video is going to be this. Definitely like it as a way to kind of like vote for it. Also, if you enjoy the video, a like is always appreciated. And we're also just a couple hundred subscribers away from 100,000 subscribers. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas if you're watching this on Christmas. If not, I hope you have a safe travels, happy holidays, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. But until the next video, take care and keep the music.
We were playing asshole.